How you doing, YouTube? Matt Nassa Beer Reviews, back with a little bit of Burial. I have not done a Burial in quite some time. This be their Cocoa Bolo. It's a coconut brown ale with chocolate. Yes, this comes courtesy of my boy Oak Ridge. He dropped this off, and I'm pumped for this because it's been a while since I've had a Burial. Love their beers. I'm pretty sure I've had this beer before, but I've never reviewed it. So let's dive into it. I got story time in the back here, so hold your horses. We're going to try to rip through this. I'm probably going to butcher it, as you know. It says here, this is once a path of subtlety, and now we give it excess, but that is life. We only get one turn around this fireball of biological genesis. I can no longer place a cloak of apathy upon the glaring eyes of this seductively malfeasant quagmire. Its time has come. It shall perish no more. Made with loads of chocolate nibs from French broad chocolate, piles of coconut, hordes of grain, and smattering of brown sugar. All the things you have already imagined will happen. Dreams aren't delicate. Delicacies are dreams. I fucking crushed that. There was hard words in there. Man, that's what it is. I'm like that guy, you know that guy in the NFL, the guy who, the wide receiver who the ball's like thrown right in his numbers and there's nobody around him and he drops it every time, but he makes one-handed catches on the sideline. That's me. Yeah, you give me something that's written correctly with punctuation and legible font and doesn't have any crazy words on it, and I butcher it 6 ways to Sunday. But you give me stuff with, you know what I mean, all kinds of words like biological genesis and glaring eyes of seductively malfeasant quagmire. I just, I land it. Because that's what I do. What does that look like? It looks like a porter. They call it a brown ale. Cocoa Bolo. It's a brown ale with real coconut and chocolate added. Here's the cool part about it. Almost every time I get like a heaping amount of coconut in a beer, it's really going to kill a head off. Really knock a head down. Not that this thing is kind of winning in the head department or head retention department, but man, yeah, those coconut oils really haven't diminished this all that much. So I'm kind of pumped about that. Give that a little whirl, see if we can get a nose. Yeah, it's almost like the coconut is acting like a soft lactose addition because it does have a little bit of soft coconut vibes, but there's almost this coconut milk kind of thing going on with it. So I dig that. The brown sugar is there, but that also could be just confused with like a little bit of extra maltiness. And honestly, the chocolate could be a chocolate malt. I'm not going to sit here and say it's having a ton of chocolate going on, but it smells like a really nice, well done, soft kind of porter. Let's dive in. Cheers. Man, I thought that was going to bring a little bit more to the game. Definitely brings the coconut to the game. It's way bigger, actually, in the taste than it is on the nose. It's canned in July 2020, so it's not all that old. July, August, September, October. We're not in October yet, so 2 months. It's just thin. I guess that's why maybe they called it a brown ale. It's thin, not overly impactful. Now listen, what is it, 5.6%? Alcohol by volume. Not expecting the world here when it comes to impact and vibrance. But I just want a little bit more, especially when you say there's a smattering of brown sugar in there. I expected a little bit of sweetness in it, and it really is kind of like a neutral beer. It leans a little bit sweet, but there's a nice drying to it. It really does showcase that coconut really well, though, to be perfectly honest with you. The beer itself comes off slightly watery. Outside of that, not negative. There's not much as far as negativity goes. There's the ever so slightest little bit of metallicness that I'm so sensitive to, but it's so small in here. It's almost criminal to even mention it because if I'm getting it, almost everybody isn't, because I know how sensitive I am to that. But it really does showcase a lot of fresh, healthy kind of coconut vibes. I dig that. That's my favorite part of it. And it's probably my saving grace of this beer. Is that it really is kind of coconut on coconut. Yeah. And it's cool coconut, too. It's not like copper tone water babies coconut. It's really almost like a barrel coconut. The coconut you get off a really nice bourbon barrel aged beer, which is my favorite coconut in the history of coconut. Other than just saying the word coconut, because that's fun. And yeah. Tasty beer, fun, nice, chuggable, drinkable, 5.6%, a nice change of pace from a low ABV pale ale or hazy or something like that. Yeah, not too shabby. I'm going to sit here and gush over the beer, no. But that coconut kind of hooks me a little bit, and every sip I take, it just gets a little bit more better with 3 ers. Yeah, done and done. Let's talk about it. Is this one of the better brown ales? Because they call it a brown ale. I call it a porter. One of the better lower ABV dark beers that I've had as late. Adjunct laden, low ABV dark beers I've had as late. It's worthy of being in a conversation. Listen, there's breweries that really crush it on the low ABV dark beer front. I'm looking at you, Mass Landing. I'm looking at you, Mortalis. There's breweries that hit that 5 and 6% range and just give not even just like pastry level, like overt sweetness, but impactful fruitness and chocolate and all other kind of things that I kind of dig at that lower ABV level. So while this is nice and nice kind of not in your face kind of change of pace at one of these kind of old school kind of beers, it's kind of old school, kind of how it comes off. It's like you drink this beer like 15, 20 years ago, people are like, this is crazy, man. They put fucking coconut and chocolate and brown sugar in this thing. It's fucking insane. And everybody goes crazy and all the BJCP nerds freak out and they write a new category. So that's where this beer kind of lands. But in today's world, it's a little bit of a, it takes a little bit of a backseat to some of those other beers. I'm not saying as a negative. I'm just saying it's a little bit more reserved of a beer, a little bit more adulty. So it has its place, and it tastes pretty damn good. So what more do you want? Value and availability. I think Burial does decent pricing. I'm pretty sure this is kind of something that hits shelves. This is not brewery only. Oak Ridge will let me know what's what. And leave you with, if you like what we like, this beer. If you like beers that are somewhere between a porter and a brown ale, and you're a fan of coconut, you will like this beer. My buddy Joe from the Beer Patrol will love this beer. Let's put it that way. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers. If you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive. Want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little burial jam right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.